It's game time. WNKX welcomes you to this live presentation of local high school sports, made possible by our community advertising partners.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are under the lights here at Hickman County High School as your Hickman County Bulldogs are hosting the Tigers of Mount Pleasant. Now, we are just under 7 minutes to go until game time, or at least that's what our clock says over there on the scoreboard. And it's a big night tonight for the Bulldogs because they are riding a 2-game winning streak. They knocked off Cheatham County right before our fall break, and then when they returned from their bye week, we had to travel an hour down the road to Waverly Central High School, where we also played a team by the name of the Tigers, and Hickman County had to play them on their homecoming night. So, of course, we know how fired up and emotional teams can play on homecoming. Teams play with a little bit more passion, a little bit more fire, but Hickman County came into an opposing stadium, a rocking Waverly High School, and they took care of business by a final score of 27-22. And it was quite the football game last week, ladies and gentlemen, as Hickman County played some of their best ball that we've seen all year. The offense was complementing the defense and vice versa. Andy Kraft certainly had the best game of his young quarterbacking career last week as well, where he ran for 2 touchdowns and threw for 2 touchdowns as well. One to Braden Brown and one in the end zone to Braden Folks, the king of Hickman County High School, as he had one of the most amazing catches that I've seen a Hickman County receiver make all season when he went up and over a Waverly defensive back for an amazing touchdown reception. And it looks like number 17, King B, Braden Folks, is going to be one of the captains here tonight, as he's flanked by a couple of his teammates about to take midfield for the coin toss. Now, what we noticed last week is that the defense had to carry a little bit of extra weight in that second half. In the first half, both sides of the ball were firing on all cylinders. Offense was scoring at will, and the defense was stopping them. And if you were tuned in with us last week, or maybe if you were in attendance for that game, you remember the score going into the half was 27-15. And as I said earlier, the final score was 27-22, so Hickman County's offense scored nothing in the second half. So, of course, this week we're looking for more consistent ball across all 4 quarters for this Hickman County offense. But as far as the defense is concerned, we can only hope that the ball stays rolling. And the game ended in such an electric way last week, a very nail-biting finish. I don't believe a single person was on their seat in that stadium, or was in their seat in that stadium, as it came down to a final goal line stand from Hickman County. Waverly had first and goal at around the 5-yard line, maybe a little bit beyond that. And they had 4 chances to get into the end zone, but Hickman County stopped them all 4 times, with the 4th being a huge pressure by the Bulldog front, forcing the Waverly quarterback to throw it incomplete. And, of course, our visiting side erupted with cheers, and Hickman County hoping to ride that wave of momentum this week as they take on Mount Pleasant. Now, as I was watching warm-ups, Mount Pleasant does seem to have a formidable team on that sideline. I was watching their warm-ups, and their quarterback was throwing it about 40 to 50 yards with ease to the end zone. So, of course, if you're Hickman County, you need to be on the lookout for their passing attack. But as we know in high school football, schools do not shy away from the run game as well. Hickman County certainly does not. But I believe we've started to find somewhat of a balance in this offense. And, folks, if you are tuning in with us on Facebook or YouTube, we're allowing our cameraman to become accustomed to his roles here tonight. So if you see the camera jolt back and forth for a little bit, we're trying to get things set up, so I apologize for that inconvenience, but I assure you that things will be going smoothly come game time, as we have about 3 minutes to go. I don't know, in the past we've had a hard time as far as camera goes, getting both sides of the end zone covered completely, but tonight we should have both end zones covered for your viewing pleasure, so you won't have to just rely on my voice, but you can trust your own eyes as well. So we're now under 3 minutes to go here at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium, which houses Jerry Bratton Field. And now both captains are making their way to that Bulldog logo at midfield.
Number 60, Tatum Russell. Number 66, Bo Stevens.
And Hickman County, I should remind you that number 1, one of the captains out there, is formerly Turner Davenport.
Number 17, Braden Foltz.
Of course, you may know him by a different number, but he did change his number here tonight. His number 54 is now taken over by Tristan Hall, 52, Chase Sims, and 51 was Turner Davenport's former number, does rock number 1 tonight. I believe that Coach Key was telling me earlier that they want to get Davenport some offensive reps on the field. So perhaps that is why the number change is in effect, because as we know, only certain numbers can be in certain positions. But I'm excited to see them get Davenport more involved. So number 79 and number 17 out there alongside Davenport, the captains on the field. And following the coin toss, I had to confirm with my fellow comrades in the booth here. Hickman County won the toss. They deferred it to Mount Pleasant, so Mount Pleasant will be receiving the football to start our game here tonight, which does mean that Hickman County will be receiving the second half kickoff, which can be a great momentum swing. And Hickman County banners are out here. They have Go Fight, and it's a pink out tonight, as it's been advertised all week. The Hickman County High School students have been urging and asking everyone in attendance to wear pink tonight. So a big night for the Bulldogs as they storm the field and the crowd erupts in cheers and the officials congregate at midfield. Of course, Hickman County is led by head coach R.E. McDonald. And Mount Pleasant, their head coach, is Kit Hartsfield. So I'm excited to see a strategic battle between these two head coaches, which coach will play their pieces the best and ultimately lead their team to victory. And Andy Kraft, of course, I cannot talk enough about this young man. I had the pleasure of talking to his parents, Miss Brandy and Mr. Jason. And they were telling me that Andy was a little bit uneasy going into the season because he had never played quarterback before. He feels much more comfortable on that defensive side of the football. But he has certainly become a star this year at quarterback.
Eli Raymer.
Raymer has things set up to kick things away for Hickman County, with Mount Pleasant deep to return. And the kick is away. It's a little squibber fielded by number 24 of Mount Pleasant. They'll mark him down at around the 47-yard line. And that is where they will set up shop.
Recovery for Mount Pleasant. First down for the Tigers.
And that was number 24, Dakota Alderson, on the recovery. The Tigers are led tonight by their quarterback, number 4, J.P. Easterling. He's in the gun. Easterling gives right. Running back has a crease. Darts up the middle near the sticks. Felt like he just got enough so he just got to the yard to gain.
10 yards, enough for the first down.
And the officials will mark him just short. Second down and about inches, as a matter of fact, to go. That was a tough run by number 29, Evan Plunkett, the running back for the Tigers. A receiver in motion. 2 men wide left for the Tigers, 1 man wide right, quarterback in the gun. Snap. It's going to be a pass. Swings out to the flat. Caught. Past the 40. 35, 30. Follows the blocker. Jukes back inside. Wrapped up, and he is drugged down by a pack of dogs inside the 25. And the ball looked like it went on the carpet. But he might have been ruled down. The coach is on the sideline demanding an explanation, it looks like. But yes, they will rule him down at about the 22-yard line. So the Tigers already marching down the field. So if you're Hickman County's defense, you can't sell it for either the run or the pass. It seemed to be a well-balanced offense. The Bulldog defense realigned themselves. Snap, give, and he is met, but spins off Kraft, who met him in the backfield. But not much to go as they pile up near the line of scrimmage, and they'll finally blow the play dead. And it looks like he gets maybe a yard. So 2nd down and 9. Looks like that was Jaden McClure on the carry, number 1 for the Tigers. And Hickman County saw a lot of tackling issues last week, so many opportunities to pin the offense behind the line of scrimmage, but they couldn't quite wrap up after the point of attack. Quarterback, snap, it's a design run to the right, has some blockers, cuts back in, has a whole lot of room, and he will scamper on in for a 21-yard touchdown run. Number 4, J.P. Easterling on the carry. So Mount Pleasant takes a quick 6-0 lead over your Hickman County Bulldogs with a PAT pending. And out trots their kicker, number 32, Brandon Case. Snap, good, kick. Looks good from here, and it is. So Mount Pleasant strikes first. It only takes them a minute and 57 seconds to do it, or 53 seconds to do it, give or take. 7-0 is your lead after the first drive of the game. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. A word from our sponsors.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
And we welcome you back here at Jerry Bratton Field. If you're just now joining us, Mount Pleasant had the football first and took it down the field. About a 52-yard drive, capped off by a quarterback keeper by Easterling for a 22-yard rush for the Mount Pleasant touchdown. And they're set to kick things away. It's Case, number 32, set to kick it away back deep for the Bulldogs. Looks like Brown and Irvin, the usual men, back deep, and the kick is away. And that's Spiegelmeyer, it looks like. That was back deep instead of Irvin. Irvin's our usual return man, but Spiegelmeyer back deep that time as they watch the ball sail past them into the end zone for a touchback. And Hickman County will set up shop 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And folks, whether you are joining us here on WNKX, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook, whether it be on your phones, laptop, or smart TV, we welcome you here, as this broadcast would not be possible without any of you, and we value you all a great deal as we hope to have a great night of football in store. Kraft snaps, gives, and the give was to number 13, Devin Driggers. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, if that. So 2nd down and 10 now for the Bulldogs. And our crew for tonight, of course, I am Josh Copley, your play-by-play man. Our producer for the night, Riley Mangrum. And on camera duty tonight, Hickman County basketball legend Chuck Blysted. Snap. It's a delayed give to Driggers. Tries to cut and dive ahead, but to no avail. Maybe gets a yard. So a quick 3rd down and long looming for Hickman County as they look to prevent the 3 and out. And following Mount Pleasant's explosive drive, Hickman County, it would be ideal to answer here with at least a couple of first downs to keep the defense on their heels. The last thing you want to do is give it right back to this high-powered offense. Kraft in the gun by himself. 3 receivers to the right, motions Driggers right to left. It looks like someone on the front line jumped, but whether it was a defensive or offensive miscue, that remains to be seen as the officials make the call, and they will call encroachment.
Offside, Mount Pleasant.
On Mount Pleasant as they crept into the neutral zone, and that will march Hickman County up 5 yards. So now this 3rd down and long turned into a 3rd down and much more manageable with a 3rd down and 4. Kraft once again in the gun, 2 receivers wide right. Driggers hugging close, motions left to right, snaps. It's a keeper. Kraft tries to follow his blockers, but he is quickly wrapped up by number 1, Jaden McClure, in the backfield. And they'll lose about 2 on the quarterback keeper, and out trots Raymer and the special teams unit to punt things away to the Tigers. Back deep to return, number 4, J.P. Easterling. Snap, good. He goes away, and he hits it off the side of his foot, and that will bounce at the 35 of Hickman County, and Brown will down it at about the 37-yard line. So the Tigers find themselves only needing 37 yards for the end zone. So a less than ideal punt from a punter who's done pretty well on the season. Raymer with a rare misfire there, and they will officially mark him down. They'll say the ball was down at the 38. So a nice job of Brown to let the ball kick and roll back just a little bit. So Easterling in the gun, 2 receivers wide right, 1 to the left, running back flanking him to his right. Snap, looks to pass, fires, little hitch route, caught at the 35, darts past number 14, Spiegelmeyer, and surges down. They'll say he stepped out at about the 20-yard line. The pass from Easterling was complete to number 20, Jakiri McClure. That'll be a Mount Pleasant first down as they are right on the outside, right on the front porch of the red zone. So Easterling once again in the gun is running back number 29, Evan Plunkett, flanking him to his right. 2 receivers stacked to the left, 1 wide right. Number 22 in motion, right to left. So a lot of motion there on the play, and I think it was a little too much motion for our officials, and they'll blow the whistle, throw the flag, and they will signal a false start on Mount Pleasant. So a hiccup there on this otherwise decent-looking drive from the Tigers. So let's see if your Hickman County defense can take advantage and keep pushing them backward. So a first down and 15, they'll mark him at the 25. Hickman's defense has been a bright spot for them these last few weeks in the games that they have won, and they will be put to the test here tonight. It appears a bunch look to the right, 1 receiver wide left, quarterback in the gun, running back to his right, snap. To be another design keeper, the one that got them their touchdown. Darts forward, has some blockers, tripped up, and stumbles forward for about a 10-yard gain on the play. They'll mark him down at the 16-yard line, second down and 6 after the 14-yard quarterback keeper. So the Tigers, a very diverse offense. They can attack you from all sides. Anybody can be dangerous with the ball in their hands. 2 receivers going to be wide to the left, 1 wide right, quarterback in the gun. This time his running back is to his left. Snap, rolls left, looking, pump fakes, tucks it. Surge is ahead and is taken down by a few Bulldogs close to the sticks. And whistles are being blown, and they'll signal first down, and the clock will continue to carry, or continue to roll, rather. 6:18 to go in this first quarter of play. Mount Pleasant with the ball at around the 10-yard line. Easterling, a couple of men back there with him. Snap, pitches it out right. That's number 1, McClure, and he gets a decent gain on the halfback pitch.
With the carry, tackled by Driggers.
Driggers was there to make the tackle. Driggers was potentially the last line of defense between McClure and the end zone. Get about 4 yards on the carry, second down and 6 with a goal to go. And Hickman County's defense, of course, showed off their goal line defense prowess last week. Let's see if they have another big goal line stop in them here early in this football game. Snap. And it's a bad snap. It's fumbled. And Hickman County's on it. Easterling muffs the snap, and Hickman County flies off the edge and beats him to the ball. And Hickman County right on cue with a goal line stop. A.J. Reich on the recovery, taking advantage of the Tiger miscue. And if you're Hickman County, you have to take advantage and give your defense some time to reprieve on the sideline if they just came up big in a goal-to-go scenario. So Kraft, as he normally is in the gun, Folks out wide, the lone receiver motions a man. It's a give to the right, tries to find a lane, not much going. I believe that was Brown on the carry, waiting for him to get up. And yes, it was number 6, Braden Brown. He'll lose a few yards on the play. He'll lose about 5, so that play really blown up from the start. So Hickman County now finds themselves in the shadow of their own goalpost, backed up inside their own 10. Kraft in the gun, one man to his left, one to his right. Folks wide right. It's going to be a snap. Kraft looks to throw. He's hit and dropped in the backfield, and he is dangerously close to that goal line.
Kraft sacked at the 1-yard line.
And they'll mark him down at about the 1. So if you're Hickman County, maybe you try a sneak or a short handoff play to try to give Raymer some breathing room to punt it away. And it's a 3rd down and in an eternity for the Bulldogs. Not a great start offensively for this team. Snap. And it looked like a Kraft keeper. Man, that is close to the goal line. Did he get out of the end zone? And they will say that he did by the skin of his teeth. It just barely gets out of the end zone and out trots Raymer, and they're going to need a much, much better punt than we saw last time. So Raymer, his heels will be against the back of the end zone. Need a clean snap, need a clean handle, and a clean kick with 3:20 to go in the first quarter. Snap, a little low, but he fields it, and whistles blow and flags fly, and Hickman County does not need this. They may get him for false start or maybe an illegal formation. And they will get the false start call on Hickman County. So that backs them up maybe an inch, if that. The ball does not have a whole lot of room to move. They'll give him half the distance to the goal, whatever half would be at this point in time. So Raymer, once again, back against the sideline. And here it is. It's a quick kick. It's a low line drive, fielded by Easterling at the 30, and he will not escape. This Bulldog special teams unit, number 13, Devin Triggers. A nice hustle play there to keep him from going anywhere, but a flag is down. Maybe a late hit there. But it looked like Easterling was still fighting, so I'm not sure where the late hit would have been. And they will get Hickman County for the personal foul call, a late hit.
Personal foul, Hickman County.
Oh, and they're going to get him for targeting. And that will mark off a whole lot of yards, and the Tigers will set up shop inside the Hickman County 20. So let's see if the defense can come up big here. The offense has been asking a lot of them so far here tonight. Easterling looking to keep firm hands on the football. Whistles blow. The referees stop play here. And a timeout will be called by Hickman County with just under 3 minutes to go. The clock reads 2:59. Mount Pleasant leads at 7-0. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
And we're back following the Hickman County timeout, their first of the half. So following the break, Hickman County's defense, they're back already against the wall following the targeting on the punt return. So Easterling in the gun, snap. He's going to give it up the middle, not a whole lot of room. A nice job by Hickman County to break that Tiger front line and to wrap up before he could get anything more than what he did. They'll give him about a yard or two.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
So second down and a long 8 for Mount Pleasant. So Hickman County seems to be improving as far as run defense is concerned, but they do need to be wary of those short, quick passes out in the flat. Easterling once again in the gun. Running back to his right, it's Plunkett. 3 receivers to the left. A lot of motion from these receivers. Lucky to not warrant a false start and illegal motion call, and that confusion will draw a Mount Pleasant timeout. So we won't be going anywhere, folks, as we just took a brief ad break. So both teams will jog back to their sidelines and discuss as Mount Pleasant looking to clarify something with their offense. And ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is a big day for the county of Hickman, as it is our annual Halloween parade. It is always such a wonderful time here in Centerville for the parade. So if you're in the area, I urge you to stop on by. There are so many wonderful floats that people work so hard on. A lot of representatives from the community will be there as well with their own featured floats. So we ask you to join us tomorrow night for the Hickman County Parade.
I might encourage him.
And speaking of Halloween, our game next week, as far as I know, will be held on Thursday as opposed to the usual Friday, which, as you may know, is Halloween night. So a very spooky game next week as Hickman County takes on Harpeth. And you never know, folks. I might show up in this press box with my best Halloween costume. So they're back out in the field. Easterling swings it out quickly, caught, breaks the tackle, and he is rocked by number 26, A.J. Reich, on the tackle. They could have had him at the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of a yard or two, but he does break the initial contact. Hickman County needs to work on tackling in open space. That has been their bane the last few weeks. Minute 43 to go in the first quarter. A 3rd and long coming up now for the Tigers. About 7 yards to go for the Sticks. They can get one more first down before it turns into a goal and go situation. McDonald yelling at his defense. Quarterback rolls right. The Bulldogs look ready for it. He is hit hard.
Easterling on the carry.
Easterling took it to the right, and he ran into a brick wall of Bulldogs. And he gets maybe a yard or two on the carry.
It's going to be 4th and 5.
So 4th and 5 now for the Tigers, and let's see what they decide to do. It looks like the offense isn't going anywhere.
It's 4th and 5, Bulldog fans.
So here we go, 4th and 5. Mount Pleasant's offense stays on the field. They're stacking the right side, nobody to the left. And the whistle will blow, and yet another timeout will be called by the Tigers. Their second on the series, the 3rd total timeout this series. 1 taken by the Bulldogs, 2 by the Tigers. So on a 4th and 5, it looks like the Tigers want to talk things over. It looks like Hartsfield wants to make sure that his team is as prepared as possible for this big 4th down play. And this also gives McDonald a time to mull things over with his defense to make sure they can call the best play possible to prevent the 4th down conversion. So it being 4th and medium, you can't really count out any play call here. If you're the defense, you can anticipate a pass play, sure, but the quarterback keepers and other forms of runs are not out of the question either. So the defense trots onto the field. The Tigers already set up and ready to go. The discussion didn't take too long, a very brief timeout. So 4th and 5, 37 seconds to go in the quarter. Easterling in the gun, running back to his right. And they do a bunch motion from right to left. One receiver out wide. It's number 20, Jakiri McClure. They're going to fade it up to McClure. Incomplete.
And that pass is incomplete.
An incredible defensive play. Number 14, Aiden Spiegelmeyer bats it away. McClure and company are denied on the 4th down play. And Hickman County's defense with yet another bend but do not break, backed up against their own goal line. So the offense, yet again, with a chance to even up our score if they can convert some big plays here. Hickman County just needs some first downs here. They need some momentum. And of course, not just in football, but in all sports, momentum is such a big factor. Snap, it's going to be a give to the right. Cuts up the middle, and not much going for Driggers on the carry.
Driggers on the carry.
And it looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Will they get another playoff? Spiegelmeyer subbing in for Irvin. With under 10 seconds to go, 5 seconds now. Kraft in the gun by himself. 3 men out wide. They try to motion a man. The whistles will blow, and the clock will expire on the first quarter. And at the end of 1, Hickman County 0, Mount Pleasant 7. Plenty of football left to go when we come back here on WNKX.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
We're back. Following the end of quarter 1, we're back here at the start of the second. Hickman County's defense once again held strong on a 4th and 5. Mount Pleasant tried for the end zone, but were denied by Spiegelmeyer. So a 2nd down and 10 now. Snap. They're going to try to give it again, and this run defense of Mount Pleasant just looks to be impenetrable. So Hickman County will lose a couple. So a 3rd down and 12 for Hickman County, and they run the risk of yet again going 3 and out and punting the ball away to Mount Pleasant. And unfortunately, this defense only has so much gas in their tank. If you're the offense, you cannot keep surrendering the ball. Already setting them up. Only 30 yards to go, and Kraft rolls out, looks to pass, and he is taken down in the backfield, tried to make some moves, and I believe he lost the ball, but he is able to fall out and they'll lose 5, so not a safety, but once again, Raymer is going to be backed up against his own goal line. His heels will be pressed up against the back of that end zone, and this Bulldog front is going to need to be strong here to prevent a punt block. So the return men of the Tigers not really respecting the leg of Raymer here. They're cheating up a little bit inside the 30. The kick is away, and it is a wobbler fielded at the 30. Makes some moves, bounces around to the left, has the lane, gets around the edge, inside the 15, and finally taken down
Plunkett on the return.
inside the 10. So Mount Pleasant
Close to the 10-yard
immediately
line.
with a first and goal, it looks
First
like.
down.
Let's see where the official spot is.
Inside the 10, first and goal for Mount Pleasant.
And the side judge on our side was correct. They'll mark him down around the 8. So a tall task awaits this Bulldog defense yet again. Easterling snaps, gives up the middle. Hickman County makes the tackle, but they do get a few on the carry. They're down inside the 5, it looks like.
Carry to about the 4-yard line.
They'll mark him down around the 4.
5-yard line.
Stovall
Second down and goal.
subbing in for Chase Sims. And the whistles blow in Hickman County. Did they get him for illegal substitution? And they do, so Hickman County unable to sub out in time. So a nice job by the Tigers to get the snap off and to induce the illegal substitution penalty. 12 men on the field.
Half the distance to go.
So that penalty acts as half the distance to the goal. They'll move up Mount Pleasant just a couple of yards here at about the 2-yard line. So they've got 3 plays here to get into the end zone. Snap. They'll give up the middle yet again. They'll keep pounding it ahead, and I think he's short. Yes, he is. Hickman County meets him at the line of scrimmage.
Plunkett on the carry.
A nice job of the Bulldog front to break through the O-line
Looks like no
and to
gain
keep the
on
ball
play.
carrier from out of the end zone, and they'll say no
Third
gain on
down.
the play. 3rd down and short. Hickman County needs 2 more big stops here.
It's 3rd down.
And a big 3rd down here looming for the Bulldogs as the crowd tries to spark some kind of life into this defense. Easterling in the gun, running back to his right. Receivers bunch to the left, 1 receiver wide right, whistles blow,
And we have a
and
flag.
Mount Pleasant will take
And
their
that will be
3rd
Mount Pleasant's final timeout
and
of the
final
half.
timeout of the half as they look to talk things over to prepare for this 3rd down and short. So Mount Pleasant, maybe they try to spice things up a little bit at the goal line. Maybe try for a quick pass out wide. Maybe a pass over the middle, some drag route, some hitch of some kind. But Hickman County needs to be anticipating all forms of offense here. And it seems like Mount Pleasant's combination of defense and offense has just drained the life out of this crowd already. And of course, one of the big benefits of getting to play at home, not only do you recognize your own turf, your own field a little bit better, but also having the overwhelming majority of the fans being your own supporters that can be disruptive in their own right, serving as the 12th man, if you will. So Hickman County needs some electric plays, not just defensively, but offensively as well, to try to get this crowd back into the game. So a 3rd down and 2, a goal to go for the Tigers. They have 2 to the left, 1 wide right. Snap, rolls right, pitches it to the right. Brown in pursuit,
And Braden Brown
and he will
on
wrap him
tackle.
up. I think he got him behind the line, and a 4th down and short upcoming for the Tigers in its decision time, albeit probably not much of a decision to be made, as I think they'll leave the offense out and they'll lose a couple on the play. They'll mark him down at about the 3.5-yard line. So Hickman County has been strong for 3 plays. They just need 1 more to keep Mount Pleasant out of the end zone. Easterling in the gun. Number 29, Plunkett, flanking him to his right. They'll motion him from right to left. They'll flip the play. Snap, rolls left. He's going to keep it. Tries to dart ahead. And he's in. Touchdown, Tigers. Easterling on the keeper.
Touchdown Tigers, Easterling on the carry.
So Hickman County so close yet so far from a big stop. It looked like they had some men waiting for him on the left side of the field, but he spins off a blocker and takes in himself to extend the Tiger lead 13-0 with the extra point pending. Snap looks good, hold looks okay, kick is up, and it is straight through the uprights. So the Tigers will tack on 14-0 with 8:04 to go in our first half of play. With Hickman County set to return, we'll be right back after these messages.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
And we're back with 8:04 to go in the first half. Mount Pleasant just capped off. Sorry. My microphone's a little bit too far away from my mouth there. That's my apologies. So as we return, we have 8:04 left to go in the first half. Mount Pleasant just capped off a touchdown drive that wasn't a very long one. They had great field position. They started off first and goal. Hickman County almost came up strong with the stop, but they converted the fourth and goal into 6 points. The return by Brown gets around the edge, has some room, past the 35, the 40, and he is ran out of bounds.
Brown
So Hickman County,
to the 40-yard line, first down and 10.
Hickman County at their own 40 with the best field position they've seen all night so far. A nice return by Brown. So let's see what Kraft and company have up their sleeve here on this drive. Andy trots back onto the field, talking things over with his running back. Brown's going to be to his left. Driggers in the slot to the left. Folks wide left. No receivers to the right. Snap. He's going to roll. Checks it down to Driggers, and he air mails Driggers incomplete. It looked like there was a Tiger defender bearing down on him anyway, so perhaps for the best that was incomplete, as it didn't look like he was going to get much after the catch anyway. But Hickman County, if they want to stay in this game, they're going to have to diversify their scheme just a little bit. They're going to need to rely on the air attack, because Mount Pleasant's run defense has been stout thus far. Barely anything going for the Dogs in that department. So same formation as the last play. Snap. Over the middle. Driggers caught! Past midfield, and that will be a Hickman County first down. Their first down of the evening. A nice play call, a nice throw, a nice catch. A nice job by Driggers to surge forward past the midfield stripe and to pass the chains for a Bulldog first down. And these are the kind of plays that Hickman County is going to need to rely on if they want to push the ball downfield. The 48, snap, and the ball is fumbled. Mount Pleasant thinks they have it, and they do. So a little too much traffic going on there at the point of the snap, and that will come back to cost Hickman County, trying to get too fancy, motioning too many men on a single play. So Mount Pleasant will take over yet again in Bulldog territory, 1st and 10. So it seems to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Hickman County so far tonight. So Easterling in the gun, running back to his left, motions his man right to left, snap, drops back, looks to throw. He lets it fly! Just out of reach. It looked like Street was bearing down on an interception, but truthfully it seemed to be just out of the reach of the receiver as well. So Easterling with the mentality of either my receiver gets it or nobody gets it. But nice coverage there by the Dogs. So a 2nd down and long now for the Tigers. And those were the kind of plays that I was seeing them work on in warm-ups before the game started, working on those midfield to end zone type deep balls. Snap. Give up the middle. Hickman County's ready, and they will stack him up at the line of scrimmage. Nothing going.
Plunkett on the carry, tackled by Pack of Dogs.
So Evan Plunkett is going nowhere on the give. They'll give him maybe a yard following forward progress. A bit of a generous spot there. So 3rd down and 9 from the Hickman County 48. A big 3 and out here would be critical for the Dog defense, not only for momentum, but for their own confidence and for their own gas tank. Snap. Fires over the middle. No one within 5 yards of him. And he will strut on past the first down marker and get down to about the 35.
Pass caught by McClure, first down.
That was shockingly light coverage there by the Bulldogs secondary, leaving way too much open space for these receivers to make plays like that. So first down now for the Tigers. They keep their drive alive. 6:10 to go in the half. Snap. Fakes the pitch. Keeps it up the middle. Does Easterling. And he's got a few on the keeper. And they'll give him about 4 yards.
Kistler in on the tackle. So a gain of 4.
It's 2nd down and 6 for Mount Pleasant. Snap. Give right. Has a hole. He darts through. And he's finally drugged down. I believe that was Davenport on the tackle. Able to wrap him up at the 20, but it is still good enough for a Tiger first down. So Easterling in the gun here. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Snap. Give left. Everett dives ahead. Well, that was Plunkett, rather, on the carry.
It's going to be 2nd down and 3.
So a 2nd and 3 now for the Tigers, as they continue to chip away at the Hickman County defense with these methodical drives, these chunk yards on run plays. And really, there's no reason to take any deep shots when you don't have to. So Easterling in the gun. Snap, give. And Plunkett was met quickly, but he breaks free. And he will find a way into the end zone. Evan Plunkett. Oh my goodness, it looked like he was met at the line of scrimmage, if not for a loss of a yard. And Hickman County's inability to tackle at point of contact comes back to bite them yet again, as the Tigers extend their lead 20-0 with the extra point pending. Case set up for the PAT. Snap looks good. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Tigers will extend their lead 21-0. And with about 4 minutes to go in the second half, Hickman County, as dire as things may look right now, they're not out of it by any means. If the offense can string some plays together and find the end zone, they can utilize that second half return to get a big 14-point swing. But of course, that plan is very dependent on the Hickman County offense. Can they find some cracks in the Mount Pleasant armor defensively? So Brown and Spiegelmeyer back deep to return. Brown had a nice return the last time the Tigers kicked it away. Let's see if he has another big one in him here. And they'll shorten the kick. Driggers will take it, and he dives down just beyond the 30-yard line. So they wanted to keep the ball out of Brown's hands, and they succeed in doing so, as Driggers really had no choice but to take it and give himself up at the 33-yard line. Now, it looked like a near disaster there, a bit of miscommunication between Folks and Driggers. They were both camped out underneath that football, and Driggers looked to undercut Folks. But no harm, no foul, as Hickman County will take over all the same. And number 12, Braden McCaleb, comes in. Snap. Give to Driggers, bounces it out to the left, and he is wrapped up quickly, and not much going yet again in the run department.
On the carry, no gain on the play.
And he did get back to the line of scrimmage, I believe. He might have lost half a yard. But they'll say no gain on the field, so second down and 10 for Hickman County. Kraft by himself in the gun, 3 receivers wide to the right, drops back, looks, area over the middle, a nice ball to Driggers. A beautiful pass and a tremendous catch by number 13 to move the chains. First down, Hickman County, and there is a flag. And they'll get a personal foul on Mount Pleasant. So when you see those flags, you assume the worst. Of course, we're used to seeing those holding calls on big plays. Of course, as you know, it's my favorite saying, death taxes and holding plays on big gains. But this is a penalty that works in the Bulldog favor. And they will push past midfield, and they will mark him down. Wow, inside the 40-yard line at the 38. So this has been Hickman County's best drive of the night. Let's see if they can cap it off. So Kraft in the gun. Driggers to his right, Irvin to his left. Whistles blow. Let's see what the stoppage is here. And they wanted to make sure the ball was set. Whistles blow, and the clock will run once again. So 2 receivers to the right. Snap. A quick pass. Swings it out to Brown. Brown tries to make some miss. Has a blocker. Gets around the edge. And he's ran down out of bounds. Here's about 7 yards. A nice play by Brown to get around the edge. A nice job as well by Folks. We don't know receivers as being blockers. But Braden does his job as a blocker marvelously there for a 7-yard gain. So these quick hitters is exactly what Hickman County needs to rely on here. So Kraft by himself in the gun. Motions Driggers left to right. Snap. Keeps it up the middle, spins down at about the 30-yard line. I think the ball was in his right arm when he came down, so they'll mark him out to 31 instead. So third down and short, about 3 to go to move the chains. Well, they almost draw a man off sides. No flags called. Snap. Quick give. Up the middle. Brown fights. Drags some Tigers with him. And he is close to the marker.
Brown with the carry.
Hickman thinks they have enough, but let's see what the officials have to say. And they'll say he's just short. So 4th and inches now for Hickman County. And the whistles will blow yet again for another stoppage. Maybe they want to discuss the spot of the ball. Bring out the measuring team.
Correction. That's a
and there is a correction on the field after some discussion and some examination. They will give Hickman County a first down. So a big break there for Hickman County. Kraft in the gun, motions Urban. And it's a direct snap to Urban, and usually great at breaking tackles, unable to escape the first man there from Mount Pleasant.
Brought down by Braxton. Loss of 5 on the play.
That was number 74, Braxton Brady. The first man there, and the only man needed to take down the tough number 21, John Irvin, but that was a big loss on the play of about 5 or 6. So Kraft by himself in the gun, 3 receivers wide right, snap, rolls. Oh, a nice time to evade the sack, and he lets it fly. Caught by Spiegelmeyer.
Pass complete to Aiden Spiegelmeyer.
And that is past the chains for yet another Hickman County first down, I think. No, they'll say he was just short.
It's going to be third and about a
So
half
third
yard.
down and a half yard, inches to go. It looked like he got past it, but I guess they ran him out just shy. But if they don't give it to him, it's still a very manageable third down after a tremendous Houdini act by Kraft to evade the sack and to get the ball off to his wide open man, Spiegelmeyer. He's in the gun here. Snap, rolls left, fires in the flat, intercepted. He overthrows Irvin. And that was number 24, Dakota Alderson, will take it all the way back for a pick 6. And it looked like Kraft had him, but just overthrew him, and it fell right into the breadbasket of Alderson. And a flag comes in late, probably some excessive celebration. And I'm questioning the play call there as a dejected Kraft walks off the field. I mean, you have 3rd and inches. You have a tough quarterback that's marvelous at using his legs. You have 3 or 4 running backs to choose from that can take it from the backfield. I don't understand the decision to pass there. I mean, sure, you can't completely abandon the pass, but I mean, when you just need a few inches. Seemed to be a little risky, and I believe the referees put the flag into the back pocket. I didn't see a signal by the officials. But here he comes onto the field. So after the play is over, unsportsmanlike on Mount Pleasant, so they will give him the touchdown, and that penalty will be enforced on the kickoff, I believe. So the snap is good, the kick is up, and it looks to be good from here, and that it is. Mount Pleasant, following the pick 6, extends their lead 28-0 with just under 90 seconds to go in the half. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
And we're back here on WNKX on this fall evening here in Hickman County. The Bulldogs have been struggling thus far, of course, trailing by 4 scores before the first half has even concluded. But following the unsportsmanlike penalty, Mount Pleasant will be kicking off from their own 25, so Hickman County with a nice chance to get some decent field position here before the half ends. And he puts his all into this kick. Fielded by Spiegelmeyer at the 20. Past the 40, 45. And he passes midfield, and he will take it into Tiger territory, but it depends on where they mark him out of bounds. And they will say he did get past midfield. About the 49 is where they'll spot him at of Mount Pleasant. So 1st and 10, Hickman County. A big return there by Spiegelmeyer as he's had a few big plays today, not only in the special teams, but on defense as well. Of course, if you remember, back on that 4th and 5 pass in the end zone, he was the man that batted it away from McClure. So Kraft in the gun. He needs to have a short memory here. Of course, a pick 6. can rattle the confidence of even the most veteran of quarterbacks. But Kraft is a tough young man, physically and mentally. So I have no doubt that he's going to put this past him. So the whistle blows, and I believe Hickman County takes their second timeout of the half. Hickman County only had 9 men set up on the field, so some confusion, miscommunication. I'm not sure what the issue there was, but Hickman County forced to take a timeout. And these early timeouts, I mean, they had some momentum going for them following the kick, and it seems like they're just stunting that by being ill-prepared on offense. And Hickman County, of course, missing a big piece tonight. Number 4, John Michael Lewis. Of course, he's had surgery not all that long ago, and we're praying for a quick recovery for this young man. Of course, you know he's a multi-sport athlete, plays baseball as well, so he's hoping to be recovered by them. But, of course, surgery recovery can be a long, arduous process. So, of course, our thoughts and prayers with this young man. So Hickman County now ready to go, Kraft in the gun. They do have 11 men on the field this time. Snap. Give to Driggers. Tries to bounce it out. Cuts it back. And he is able to fight back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was going backwards. But a nice job by Driggers to just get it back to the line of scrimmage. But if you're Hickman County, even though your quarterback just threw an interception, you cannot abandon the pass. I mean, he's made some wonderful throws so far, so who's to say he doesn't have a few more left in him. Kraft. Give again. Driggers has a bit of a hole. Gets about 3 yards on the play, a 3rd down and 7 with 45 seconds to go. And Hickman County, if they want to get some points going into the half, they need to have a sense of urgency. So now 30 seconds left in the half. Kraft getting the play from his sideline. And they are just letting this clock run here, maybe wanting to try a Hail Mary of sorts. They'll flip the play, motion some men, and the whistle will blow. And now they'll take a timeout with 15 seconds to go. So I'm not quite sure about the clock management here from Hickman County, but that's why I'm up here as a commentator and as a broadcaster, not as a coach. So maybe they know a little something that I don't. But that was the final timeout. So Hickman County really can't even afford a quick play, then another deep shot. They pretty much have one play left unless they can get out of bounds. We know Kraft has a good arm, so I have no doubts they want to take at least one shot to the end zone before the half is all said and done. So the whistles will blow and both teams trot on to the field. So Kraft in the gun, Driggers will be to his left, Folks wide left, and that's going to be your man to watch. Kraft barking orders, snaps, rolls left, looking, he's going to let it fly! And it's intercepted. Folks was blanketed by a couple of Tigers, and it was Mount Pleasant that comes down with the football with 5 seconds to go. And I would have liked that play if it was in the end zone. If they would have had time to set themselves up for a bit more of a high probability, higher percentage pass play there, just to throw it up to the end zone and let your man go up and get it. But I digress, and Mount Pleasant undoubtedly going to come out here, take a knee, and take it to the half. But maybe they want to try to add on before the half is over. They do come out in the shotgun, is their quarterback, so not your traditional kneel formation here. So Hickman County probably looking to just play some prevent defense here to wrap up and keep them out of the end zone, and the whistles will blow. Neither side has a timeout left, so let's see what the flag is. Yep, they will get them for a delay of game. That's the price of not having any timeouts remaining. So that'll back them up, and maybe that will change the play call here.
I'm going to bet they weren't planning on leaving. They just weren't sure what they were going to do.
So perhaps Mount Pleasant had some tricks up their sleeve for what they wanted to do to end the half, but now, following the penalty, they still come out in the gun, probably looking to run another play. Not your traditional QB knee look. Snap. He's going to give it on the ground, see if something can break big, and nothing will. He'll get a few yards to pad the stats, but nothing more. And the clock will strike 0 on this second quarter, and that brings us to the end of the first half. Your score, Hickman County 0, Mount Pleasant 28. Ladies and gentlemen, we here at WNKX will be taking a short intermission here at the half. We will be back here in about 10 to 15 minutes. We look forward to seeing you then. Don't go anywhere.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists?
That's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection!
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cut in the shareable square.
That's delicious!
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago tavern-style recipes for just $12 each. Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology. Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Apology accepted.
WNKX welcomes you back here at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium, which houses Jerry Bratton Field, as the Hickman County Bulldogs have been doing battle with the Mount Pleasant Tigers. And folks, I'm going to keep it blunt with you, it was not a very pretty first half. Mount Pleasant's offense has been very strong. They've had several drives that have been capped off in touchdowns, but really their offense hasn't had to do too much work. This Mount Pleasant defense has set them up several times with phenomenal field position by backing up Hickman County against their own goal line and forcing Raymer to punt from out the back of his own end zone. So I would say the average field position that Mount Pleasant has is around the Hickman County 30-yard line, and 30 yards is not all that much to ask, especially when you get it over and over again. I mean, that's just how you wear out a defense. So the defense of Hickman County has had about 15 minutes to reprieve, to rest, and to change their strategies, and I'm excited to see what new game plan has been implemented by Coach McDonald, because something has to change. I think something that I would suggest is make Mount Pleasant drive the length of the field to beat you. I mean, they have been gifted touchdowns on a silver platter. Of course, one of their touchdowns came from a pick six by Andy Kraft. It was about a 70-yard pick six, which really is a backbreaker and a confidence killer for a young quarterback. But Andy, of course, is such a tough young man. So I know he's going to bounce back the second half and look to make things right, to get his Bulldogs some points on the board. And what I loved so much about Hickman County in the first half, of course, there wasn't a whole lot going for them, but the good that we saw were the passes over the middle. Whenever Andy has a chance to improvise, good things happen. Whenever he gets the ball out quick, good things happen. But it's that awkward median where it seems like he's really struggled so far here tonight. Of course, rolling left against his body has seen a lot of miscues. We saw the interception even on the last play of the first half. Kraft rolled left before letting it fly, and it looked like he didn't really get his feet under him as much as he would have liked. He didn't get to stand strong and really let it fly. And of course, that pass was intercepted, but really no harm, no foul on the interception when you're trying to go for a home run ball at the end of a half. But that will still hurt the stat sheet just a little bit, but I know that's the last thing that these men are thinking about here tonight. They're thinking about how can we get back into this game when things seem insurmountable. And Mount Pleasant has a good football team. It's not going to be easy to claw back into this one. But we know Hickman County, a vice that we have said that they have is that they can only play for one half. So maybe Hickman County used up all of their misfortune, bad luck, and bad plays on the first half for them to come out and play perfect football in the second half. Is that just wishful thinking on my end? I'm not sure. But only time will tell, as we have about 2 minutes to go until the second half kickoff, and I think this opening drive from Hickman County will tell us a lot. And once again, folks, we thank you so much for joining us here on WNKX. Whether you be joining us on YouTube, Facebook, iPhone, laptop, smart TV, however you are watching WNKX live, we welcome you here and we appreciate your viewership as we try to grow this station into something special so that all residents of Hickman County may enjoy it, so that all residents of Hickman County may be up to speed on the happenings with their schools, mainly in the sports department. And folks, I should let you know that tomorrow is the Hickman County Halloween Parade. It's such a wonderful time. So many sponsors make that possible. We'll see so many representatives in the community making wonderful floats. So if you like a little bit of horror, it's a good time, and I invite you all out tomorrow night in Centerville for Hickman County's annual Halloween Parade. And folks, we are set up for the second half kickoff here. It looks like Spiegelmeyer and Brown are back deep to return. Case is set up to kick things deep for Mount Pleasant. And these are the drives that we call here in the business to be tone setters. And if you're Hickman County, for the time being, you need to turn that scoreboard off in your mind. You can't glance over. You cannot become disheartened. You have to play every snap like it's 0-0. So let's see if they have the mental makeup to do just that. So the officials clarifying some things, and the ball is now kicked off, fielded by Driggers inside the 30, past the 30. Tries to bounce it right, follows some blockers, gets around the edge, 35, 40, and he runs a long ways east and west, but is able to make up some ground and get to the 40-yard line, and that is where Hickman County will set up shop 1st and 10. So a nice little return there by Driggers. And while they're setting up shop here, very special thank you to Riley Mangrum and Chuck Blysted, who were on our production crew tonight. Riley doing the producing, Chuck, of course, basketball legend here at Hickman County High School, doing the camera. So if you get motion sickness, talk to him, not me. First play given to Irvin, and oh my goodness, he is slammed down. Forward progress will still keep him at the 37. But that was a tough wrestle down for Irvin to take there. So they try to establish the run game here, but to no avail as they lose about 2 or 3 on the opening half run play. Snap, fires, and he was expecting Folks to run upfield a little bit. So a bit of miscommunication there. Kraft talking to Folks, trying to clarify the miscommunication, looks down to his wrist. So Hickman County already backed against the wall in this first drive of the second half against Mount Pleasant. 3rd down and about 13 to go to move the sticks. But if they can make it even to 4th and manageable, they'll probably keep the offense out there. Snap. And they're going to give it to Driggers. Driggers follows some blockers, and he goes nowhere. A gain of a yard, maybe a yard and a half on the play. Number 64, Levi Eisenhuth, loses his helmet on the play, so he has to come out. And out trots Raymer. So 4th and 11. Hickman's offense unable to get anything going on their first drive of the second half. Let's see what the defense can do. And Raymer needs a big kick here. The snap, a little high, but he corrals it. The kick is high. Not too terribly far, but it is into Mount Pleasant territory. Takes a Hickman County roll, and it will die at around the 30. So Raymer's best punt of the night does force the Tigers to do what we were talking about just a moment ago when we came back from our halftime break. Make them drive the full length of the field. So that's step 1. Step 2 is stopping them.
Step 3 is scoring.
Easterling in the gun. Drops back to pass. Over the middle. Caught on a little slant route there. And that was number 20, Jakiri McClure, on the reception for about 6 yards.
6 yards, 2nd and 4.
So a 2nd down and 4, 10 minutes in this third quarter to go. Easterling, similar to Kraft, appears to take the majority of his snaps from the gun. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Running back, flanking to his right, gives up the middle. That's Evan Plunkett, and he's not going to get very far.
No gain on the play.
They'll say he just got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, maybe a half yard at best. So a 3rd down and 3.5. The Tigers break the huddle. Hickman County with a chance to get off the field here early. Triggers one-on-one down here with Jakiri. Snap. They're going to give it. Plunkett gets around the edge. First down for the Tigers and more as he tiptoes down the sideline, and he'll finally be pushed out. They'll say he stepped out at around the 49, and that'll be a Tiger first down as they near Bulldog territory. And it just seems almost too easy for the Tigers here tonight. So 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for the Tigers. 2 receivers wide, 1 left. 2 receivers wide right, rather. 1 to the left. Easterling in the gun, running back to his right. Whistle blows, referees stop, and they say Mount Pleasant will take a timeout, their first of the half. And during this brief intermission, a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
Welcome you back here to WNKX following the timeout taken by Mount Pleasant, their first of the half. They set up 1st and 10 at the 49 of their own, but they're knocking on the door of midfield. Easterling in the gun, snap, rolls right, pitches it out to the right. He's got a lot of space to work with, gets around the edge, and Street wraps up there. Oh, and an official is taken down on the Hickman County sideline. Urban's momentum took him right into the legs of the official, and he appears to be all right as he hops right back up. And McClure was there on the carry for about 8 yards. A nice job by Street to wrangle him down, as he could have had a whole lot more on that carry. So 2nd down and 2. Snap, the Bulldogs. And McClure gets around the edge to the left. It's a sweep. And a lot of yards on the carry. First down and much, much more as they take him down near the 30. And the official spot will be exactly that, at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 Tigers. And a score update from around the league. Summertown is currently up on Lewis County, 21-6. So a big game happening there. Snap. Up the middle again, they give. Breaks some tackles and darts up the middle for another sizable gain by Mount Pleasant. So their strategy seems to be the exact same as it was in the first half. Just keep chipping away and break the spirit of the Bulldog defense. So 2nd down and about 4 to go for the Tigers. Easterling in the gun, 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Running back to his left in the backfield with him. Snap. Another sweep. Cuts back up the middle in the inside zone. Makes a few men miss. And he breaks another tackle. He's still on his feet. And a tough run. Number 23, Braden Parrish was the man on the carry. Snap, Parrish again. Still breaking some tackles, dragging some Bulldogs with him. They finally wrangle him down inside the 10 at about the 9. So Parrish with a couple of tough runs here. That one netting a lot less than the one previous, but still positive yardage as they now find themselves inside the Bulldog 10, second down and 8, and they can get one more first down before being in goal to go territory. Snap, give, up the middle, and he lowers his head, and I thought he would be caught up in a pile there at the line of scrimmage, but he fights forward and gets a modest gain. I believe that was Parrish yet again, yes, number 23. But still a few yards shy of the sticks. Third down and about 3, third down and a long 3 to go. 2 receivers, out to the right, one to the left. Easterling in the gun, Parrish to his left. Snap. He pulls it back. It's a read option. He keeps it himself, and he has some room. Nobody was ready for it. And that was John Michael Wright, who was the quarterback, as a matter of fact. Keeps it himself and takes it around for yet another Mount Pleasant touchdown as this lead grows even wider, 34-0, extra point pending. So it seems that Mount Pleasant has an assortment of young players they can switch in and out at will. And they brought in a new quarterback, being John Michael Wright, and the machine just kept churning right along. An extra point, hold good, kick good, and that will add one more point to the lead here. 35-0 is our score. Mount Pleasant leads with 5:05 to go in the third quarter. So I would like to remind you all that WNKX will be live yet again next week, but not at our normal time of Friday. It'll be live Thursday night, which is Halloween night, so a very spooky contest lined up for us next week under the lights, as Hickman County will host Harpeth at home. Harpeth will be a tough test next week, but Hickman County looking to finish the season strong. So once again, we ask you to join us next week here on WNKX, live on Facebook and YouTube, next Thursday night. And the kick is away, fielded by Driggers, the 25. Tries to make some men miss, but to no avail. He takes it beyond the 30-yard line, down to about the 32. And that is where Hickman County will set up shop as they look to erase the goose egg on the board. We've seen some promising plays here from Hickman County, but ultimately not much going on against this stifling Tiger defense. So 3 receivers will be out wide to the left. Irvin, Brown, Folks in that order. Kraft in the gun, Driggers to his left. Snap. He's going to keep it up the middle and dives ahead, lowers his shoulder, plows forward for a couple. So he gets about 2 or 3. Does Kraft on the carry.
Kraft on the carry, gain 3, second and 7.
So a long 7 yards to go for the Chains. Kraft in the gun, Driggers. Directly to his right, Irvin. Directly to his left, Brown and Folks wide right. Snap. It's going to be a give to Driggers, and not much as he is stacked up and plowed over by a lot of Tigers. So not much going. They'll say he just got back to the line of scrimmage. So third down and a long 7 now. Do the Bulldogs need to convert? So Hickman County appears to not be abandoning the rushing attack so far But if they want to even sniff the end zone, they're going to need a little bit of diversity here. Kraft in the gun, triggers to his right, 2 receivers out wide right. They shift a couple of men, Davenport and Irvin, left to right. Snap, fakes the pitch, gives it to Irvin, has some blocks, has some room, but he is wrapped up and drugged down from behind. It looked like Irvin had a lot of daylight ahead of him. But a nice tackle there. A nice job of pursuit by Mount Pleasant to ensure he goes no further. And a 4th and 4, 4th and 3 now for Hickman County. And being down 5 scores, not much to lose here as Kraft stays in the gun. They try to draw him off sides, maybe a hard count here, and they throw the flag. I didn't see a jump, but maybe the officials saw something that I didn't. And they'll get Mount Pleasant for an offsides there, and that will move the chains. So a nice hard count there by Kraft. The flinch was ever so minuscule, but I guess that is enough to get the officials to throw the flag. Snap. He's going to give it to Drigger, sweeps it to the right, tries to cut back inside, gets about half a yard on the carry. So 2nd down and 9, under 90 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and this quarter has flown by. So Brown and Folks motion from right to left. Folks, the man out wide. Brown in the slot. A few more men in motion now, right to left. Davenport and Irvin. Snap. Swings it out. Has Folks. Makes the first guy miss, but cannot evade the second. Gets about 2 on the pass, so it looked like Kraft and Folks finally on the same page with that quick out route, but not much going. So 3rd down and 7 for Hickman County. They need to start converting some big chunk plays here. Snap. Give to Driggers up the middle. Has a lane. Breaks a tackle. Cuts back and dives ahead over the 45-yard line. And that will be a 1st down for Hickman County. And they'll mark him down at the 44. And if Driggers could have found a way to keep his balance, it would have been a surefire house call. But a nice open field tackle by Mount Pleasant to stop him at the 44, and with the time winding down under 3 seconds now, it hits 0 on this 3rd quarter of play, and after the 3rd quarter, Mount Pleasant leads 35-0. 1 quarter left to go here at Jerry Bratton Field. We will be right back here on WNKX.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
And we're back here, Hickman County. A big 1st down run by Driggers sets them up in Tiger territory. Whistles blow, and a flag is out. A lot of movement there from both sides. Let's see who they get. They do get Hickman County on the false start. It looks like about four Bulldogs moved there, so you probably couldn't single out just one on the false start penalty. So that'll back them up 5 yards, still in Tiger territory at about the 49-yard line. So one step forward, a big, long leap back now for the Bulldogs. Let's see if they can make up that penalty yardage. Kraft rolls, pocket collapses, makes the man miss, but he can't evade the second. And he is wrapped up and taken down back at the 48.
Pocket on the sack, and it's second down and 18.
So he'll lose about 3 on the sack. Kraft was trying his absolute hardest to escape the pocket, but to no avail. The pursuit of the Tigers was too much, and thus a sack is the result. So second down and 18 for the Dogs. Kraft in the gun by himself. 3 out wide to the right. Motions Driggers right to left. Drops back, looks to throw, swings out to Driggers. Driggers wasn't even looking. And that ball was nearly intercepted. Honestly, probably should have been. But it goes through the hands of the Tiger defender. So the Bulldogs catch a break there. They were trying to hit Driggers on that wheel route. He actually might have had some space ahead if he was ready for the ball. But some miscommunication there from Hickman County results in an incomplete pass. Now 3rd and 18 for the Dogs. The clock ticking down here. The play clock is under 5. Gets it off, rolls out, has some time, hits Driggers in the flat on an out route. And he'll take it down to about the 45. And Kraft trots off to the sideline to talk with Coach McDonald. And the offense is going to stay on the field here with under 10 minutes to go, down 35. Let's see if they can convert here, and they will blow the whistle, and Hickman County will take a timeout. I believe they're first of the half. So let's see what Hickman County can draw up on this 4th and long here. So following the Bulldog timeout, both teams now make their way back onto the field. So let's see what Coach McDonald has drawn up here for this 4th and 11 play. They're at the 45. They need to get to the 35-yard line or so. Looks to throw, pocket collapsing, looking, and he just lowers his shoulder and braces for impact as Kraft goes down at the 50. Another Tiger sack, and that will be a turnover on downs. Mount Pleasant football. And as is the old adage in sports, there are no such thing as losses, only lessons. So let's see how Hickman County learns and adapts going forward. So Hickman's defense, if you're the coaching staff of the Bulldogs, you want to still see them play with a lot of passion, a lot of intensity, because you can develop a lot of bad habits if you become lackadaisical. Snap, throws out to the right in the flat, batted up and incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
Number
by Ray Brown.
Number 88, the intended receiver. In and out of the hands, incomplete. Brown on the coverage. It appeared that was number 32, Brandon Case, that threw the ball there, which is usually their kicker / punter. Not listed on the roster sheet as a quarterback here in front of me, but maybe the Tigers just trying to develop and get as many reps in as possible for their young players. Snap, it's a little bit low, but he recovers, gives it to the left, has a good bit amount of room, and he cuts back inside. And he surges past the 40, and I think, yes, that will be enough for a Tiger first down.
Carried by Alexander Armstrong, first down for the Tigers.
Alexander Armstrong on the carry, the first we've called his name tonight. As it looks like Mount Pleasant trying to cycle in as many players as they can to get as many reps as possible for their young guys. Under 7.5 minutes to go in the game. Case in the gun. Snap. Gives right. Armstrong again, and he's not going anywhere. A nice tackle by number 28, Braden Armstrong, the freshman. Got him in the backfield.
Tackle by Wright. Big loss on the play.
So a nice tackle for loss there by Armstrong, the freshman. They backed them up a ways. Second down and about 20 to go. Snap. Give again to Armstrong. Tried to sweep it out. Tries to cut back to make something happen. Gets back across the 50, but nothing more after that. As they'll say, his knee was down around the 49. Third down and about 19 to go for the Tigers. Snap, slow, picks up off the ground, gives again to Armstrong up the middle, trying to give this sophomore running back, Alexander Armstrong, some touches here in the late going, but not much going for this young man as Hickman County forces a 4th down and 19 punting situation. And conveniently for the Tigers, Case, who had been taking some snaps this drive, can stay on the field and just back up a few yards and punt the ball away as well. Spiegelmeyer going back deep to return. And the snap is almost over the head of Case, a nice one-handed snag. And the punt will roll inside the 10, and a coffin corner kick by Case. Mount Pleasant hasn't punted a whole lot this game, but one of the few times they have, it's a beautiful one. So Hickman County has their work cut out for them here at about the 6-yard line following the Case punt. Let's see if this offense will give us something to be excited about on this drive. I will not be embarrassed to lose my mind if I see a touchdown, even if all it does is put a dent in the final scorecard. I love seeing Bulldog touchdowns. So here we go. And it looked like some Tigers jumped off sides, and that's what they will signal. So Hickman County will move up 5 yards, 1st and 5, start this series. Snap. It's juggled and looks like a dog pile inside the 5. And Hickman County is thankfully able to fall on it. So they lose all of that offsides yardage and then some on the snap miscue. Under 3 minutes now to go. Snap. It's a low one again. Kraft looks to escape. Or no, that's Brown that had the football. And it seems like a lot of frustration on the field from this Bulldog offense. A lot of drooped shoulders, lowered helmets.
Third down for the Bulldogs.
So 3rd down and long, backed up against their own goal line. Under 2.5 minutes now to play. Snap, throws, Driggers, caught over the middle. A nice play.
Catch by Driggers.
Driggers has
First
been
down,
known
Bulldogs.
this season for being one of the primary running backs, but tonight he has been Kraft's #1 receiver. And Hickman County will move the chains. Under 2 minutes now to play. Let's see if they can get some sparks going to get off the goose egg before the game ends. So they're going to give it. Irvin. A nice carry.
32-yard line.
About 8 yards on the play. Hickman County
The 28-yard line.
in a turbo look here
2nd and 1.
as they hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Folks looks to be subbing out. Number 22, Amari Walker, the freshman, in at wide receiver now. Snap, give to the right. It's Brown. What a nice juke back. And a stiff arm, and he's out of bounds.
Brown with a carry to the
And he has enough for the first down. They mark him down at the 30. So Hickman County now with 2 first downs on the same drive. Can you believe it? Under a minute to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you leave tonight, check out our concession stand where all the hot food is half off at this time.
So Kraft in the gun, 35 seconds left. Snap. They're going to give it to Brown. Brown fighting ahead, gets some yards on the play. And Brown bounces away. He's still on his feet. He's in the Tiger territory. 10-5, touchdown. Braden Brown. And I could not care less that the scoreboard says 35-6. That is a Bulldog touchdown, and I am getting paid to be excited. Hickman County is on the scoreboard, and this crowd has not gone anywhere regardless of the deficit as they come alive and get loud to support their Bulldogs getting on the scoreboard here tonight. So Raymer out for the PAT, and as a reminder, last week I proved that the announcer's curse was real, so I'm going to mute my headset so that Raymer might kick it a little bit nicer. Looks like the referee's discussing something with the coaches on the sideline. What an amazing run by Brown, though.
Touchdown stands.
What does this mean?
So they get Mount Pleasant for the illegal substitution on that last play, but of course the touchdown will stand all the same.
The kick is no good.
And I unmuted my headset right before the kick, so young Raymer, I will take full responsibility for that missed PAT. I'm usually not all that superstitious, but I am a little stitious. So the missed PAT keeps our score Mount Pleasant 35 to Hickman County 6. So perhaps, maybe, while all of this is just a formality at this point, maybe Raymer tries for an onside kick here just to get some extra reps in. So Raymer setting up shop, and the penalty on the last drive. They'll boot it away from the 45. Mount Pleasant back, ready to return. Raymer ready to kick things away. And he just boots it away. And it goes off the hand. And they say touchback, but it went off the hand of the return man, so that should be a fumble. But I guess the referees, I suppose the officials and everyone else for that matter, just phoned it in. So the clock will strike 0 following Raymer's kick. But Hickman County did not go without an exciting touchdown run by Braden Brown in the late goings. While the game as a whole was not a very pretty sight, there are so many things that Hickman County can learn from in this next week as they prepare for Harpeth next week. What I loved most about this game were the few times that Kraft went over the middle of the field. I believe that him and Driggers had a nice little connection that they weren't able to utilize a whole lot, but I think this game goes to show that whenever you can suppress the rushing attack, you make a team one-dimensional and you make it very, very hard to score. So hats off to Mount Pleasant. They have a solid football team. They earned every bit of this win here tonight. But for Hickman County, you can only hope to keep your head held high and finish out the season strong. And we here at WNKX will be live next week. A reminder, it will be a Thursday night football game on Halloween night. We are very excited for that. We know it will be a busy night for a lot of people, but we still encourage you to join us here on WNKX, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook, iPhone, laptop, or smart TV, whichever way is easiest for you. We appreciate your viewership all the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your play-by-play announcer, Josh Copley. Our producer for tonight has been Riley Mangrum, and our cameraman for tonight has been Chuck Blystead. We wish you all a blessed evening, stay safe, and we will see you next Thursday. Good night.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.